It wasn't one mistake, but failure after failure that has the government plugging holes in U.S. airport security tonight. Nearly 10 years after 9/11, a foreigner was able to board a commercial jetliner with none of the required documents and with no trouble at all. This story is infuriating if you've ever fumbled with luggage, a ticket, a boarding pass, and an ID while waiting to get through that first checkpoint of the TSA. Bob Orr is in Washington with late information. Bob, what are you hearing?
Well, Scott, as you said, this is a fundamental failure of the most basic U.S. aviation security policies. A man with no valid boarding pass, no valid ticket, was cleared through a checkpoint and took a cross-country flight. Virgin America Flight 415 had taken off from New York's Kennedy Airport and was already in the air heading for Los Angeles last Friday when a flight attendant found something strange on board. There was a man in 3E, a seat that was supposed to be empty. When asked for his papers, the man pulled out a day-old boarding pass issued for a different cross-country flight the previous day. And the name on the boarding pass did not match a University of Michigan ID bearing his real name, Olajide Noibi. Noibi, sources say, made no threats and was carrying no weapons, so the flight crew determined it was safe to fly on to L.A. As Virgin Flight 415, call sign Redwood, approached LAX, the pilot gave controllers no hint of a problem.
I'm going to 24 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 24 right for Redwood 415.
But upon landing, the mystery passenger, Noibi, was questioned by the FBI. Noibi, a Nigerian national, told the FBI he was in LA to recruit people for his software business. He claimed it simply found the unused boarding pass and admitted not buying a ticket. Agents then traced the boarding pass to its rightful owner, who confirmed that he had lost the boarding pass on a New York subway and simply had printed another one at the airport kiosk. When the FBI found no apparent connections to terror, Noibi was turned loose, but only for 4 days. FBI agents arrested him yesterday, and they found Noibi back at LAX, trying to board yet another flight, Delta 46 to Atlanta, again with a boarding pass that was not his own. And a search of his 2 bags turned up even more suspect documents, at least 10 more boarding passes in various names. Noibi's now charged with being a stowaway on an aircraft. Now, the TSA says Noibi was screened for explosives and weapons, and in that sense presented no real threat or imminent threat to the plane. But it was a fundamental failure at the screening checkpoint. He never should have gone on with the papers he presented, Scott.
Bob, you said in your story that he had a University of Michigan ID. Do you mean he got on a plane without a government-issued ID, like a driver's license? How does that happen?
It's unbelievable, and it shouldn't happen. I mean, it's just basic. The screener is supposed to take a look at those documents, match the name precisely, first, middle, and last name against the boarding pass. In this case, the names wouldn't have matched. The ID wasn't appropriate. He never should have got on the plane. The screener now will be retrained and could face disciplinary hearings, Scott.
Thank you, Bob.